Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you and welcome to Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Muchaka and I do hope I find you well. This is late afternoon where we take a look at what has been making the news headlines of late. So I think the major issue is the issue of the COVID-19 vaccine. What is happening? Where are we going? We saw the MDC Vice President, Honorable Tendai Biti, saying that Zimbabwe is suffering from pandemic, but I'm sure the national leadership has more information on that. So we just want to hear what President Emerson Mnangagwa said this week. He said help is on the way. So let's just listen to what the president had to say.
Government has and is engaging countries which have developed vaccines. Help and relief are on the way. Our experts, we have been assessing different vaccines, are very close to finalizing the course to recommend to our nation. A course which brings in relief and which we will roll out across the length and breadth of our nation, so we do not lose more lives than has become inevitable. A course which ensures that the vaccines we introduce in our bodies are both safe and effective. Consultations are underway with the private sector to ensure we pool our efforts and resources for a definitive national response. We will spare no effort, spare no resource to save the lives of Zimbabweans. We will spare no effort to protect our frontline staff who have served us remarkably well under very challenging conditions in these trying times. They are the heroes and the heroines of our nation and should receive priority protection, so they in turn protect you, me, all of us. Once we receive the vaccine, and it will be quite soon, they will be the first ones to be inoculated.
All right, so that was what President Emerson Mnangagwa said yesterday. Help is on the way, so we look forward to that kind of help. Maybe the question is, when is soon? But we've been told that quite soon help will be coming through. Dr. Robert Mujgira Ndima, who is the PEMSEC in the Ministry of Health, the acting PEMSEC in the Ministry of Health, has said that no budget was put in place by the Ministry of Health and Childcare, which you all know, but he said that mobilization of resources has begun in earnest. So we want to just hear what he had to say.
Been assured by Ministry of Finance that the resources for this will be sought for and provided. Currently, it's not in the budget for the Ministry of Health and Child Care because these issues came after the budget was presented. Tomorrow, there will be a high-level meeting that will be chaired by His Excellency, business leaders that have offered to pay for the vaccine for Zimbabweans. So resources are already being mobilized for this vaccine.
Awesome. So that was Dr. Robert Mujgirandima saying that there's no budget, but today the president was meeting with some high-level business people in order for them to begin mobilization for this. But the question that continues to make itself go in public spaces is the very fact that so many organizations, the EU, etc., has made donations to Zimbabwe. Now, where did that money go to? Anyway, that is a story for another day. We hear Dr. Manangazira Poshia, who is the Director of Epidemiology and Disease Control in the Ministry of Health, saying that Zimbabwe is sourcing the vaccine from China and Russia, and that these vaccines will cost from $2.50 up to $7. So we just want to hear Dr. Manangazira speaking to us.
Last week, Madam Chair, there were two meetings convened by the Honorable Vice President, who is also Minister of Health and Child Care, Dr. Chiwenga, with Chinese authorities, but also with the senior officials and persons to do with vaccinology in the country. But from the current prices and pricing strategies, it appears, Madam Chair, that the minimum may be about $2.50, all the way to $7, or even a little bit more per person vaccinated per dose.
Right. So that is coming through from Dr. Manangazira. And Arnold Dalton Kambanga says, what is in that vaccine of yours that requires a separate health card apart from those we have? They're different diseases before corona, but they're all combined in one card. Why this time? We're expecting Dr. Manangazira to come on board. She has been very, very busy, and apparently today she has had to go for a funeral, so she was unable to avail herself. All these questions we want them to be able to respond to us. Arnold Dalton Kambanga, you further says, don't tell me it's for treatment, for retreatment when one has complication, because I know we can say by mouth that I've been vaccinated soon. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming through. This is On the Spot. We're just taking a look at some of the issues making the headlines. So we just listening to what the president said. He said that help is on the way. Now we also we've also seen the Ministry of Health coming through, and there are quite a number of concerns that they are raising, the issues of fake news. So they say, so in this particular story that we ran here on Zimbabwe Daily, that says stop spreading fake COVID-19 related news, government warned. This is the Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage Permanent Secretary Aaron Nepera, who says government is concerned with the increase in falsehoods, claiming that certain government and top ZANU-PF officials have been affected by COVID-19. The warning comes at a time when 3 ministers succumbed to COVID-19 within a week, and multiple reports claiming that certain prominent individuals, mainly aligned to ZANU-PF, had also succumbed to the virus. Some of these reports were later dismissed. In a statement, Home Affairs Permanent Secretary Aaron Nepera said this was unacceptable and unethical. Government has noted with concern recent developments where mainstream media, social media, and individuals are spreading falsehoods on how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the nation's leadership. It is unacceptable and unethical to publish falsehoods in a democratic society. Some of the falsehoods have been peddled include suggestions that the Honorable Vice President, Retired General Dr. Chiwenga was unwell and had been airlifted to China for medical treatment. Honorable Vice President Colonel Kemba Mohade was equally said to be indisposed and recuperating at home, Said Nepera. The statement said some prominent individuals, including ZANU-PF officials such as retired Lieutenant General Mike Nyambuya, who is also the Deputy President of the Senate, Mr. Victor Matemadanda and Patrick Chinamasa were also subjected to similar falsehoods. So Mr. Nepera issued a statement reminding us that such acts have the effects of causing alarm and despondency, not only to the individuals affected and their families, but to the nation as a whole. We continue to be broadcasting to you live from our studios, and this is Zimbabwe Daily. We are talking about and taking a look at the news that have been making the headlines in the week. Now, we also want to take a look at what has been happening. I mean, the COVID-19 vaccine issue continues to top the issues in the public domain because everybody is concerned. Everybody is concerned to know what is happening with the vaccine. There are questions as to who is supposed to get this vaccine. Is it for the chefs or is it for everybody else? So these stories, this particular issue continues to make the headlines. So we have the High Court postponing Honorable Job Sikala's bail appeal hearing. So he is back again in court tomorrow. Then another issue that has been making the news headlines is what the government spokesperson, Mr. Nick Mangwana, suggested, and he made an apology for that suggestion. Government spokesperson Nick Mangwana has apologized for comments he made, which insinuated that some in the medical profession were political activists, deliberately eliminating certain political players. This kind of comment was met with a lot of resentment. The doctors issuing a statement saying this is uncalled for and that the doctors are professionals. But of course, such conspiracy theories can always arise, especially in a country where the medical field has faced a lot of challenges, especially around remuneration cases. So he's since apologized for saying that. I am not exactly sure if this is not what they would call communicating falsehoods or something. I don't know, but all the same, this is Nick Mangwana. He wrote, "I expressed my personal view on an issue a doctor had tweeted on. I had no intention to offend any doctor or call any of them names. Since it has caused such offense, I withdraw it and apologize for any offense caused. I just hope we can move and not be distracted from work at hand." I don't know, Zimbabwe, what do you think about that particular apology coming in from Nick Mangwana? I'm not too sure if Job Sikala, Hopo Chingono, Fazai Maher, and others managed to get an opportunity to actually take down their comments on that child who was allegedly beaten and died. Gaffe that they posted on their online handles. They are incarcerated on the basis of communicating falsehoods. Now, what Nick Mangwana has that potential of actually causing despondency in the medical field, but all the same, he has issued a public apology on that issue. Looking on other stories making the headlines in our media platforms. Mliswa has questioned the criteria used to confer hero status, and I think this is coming from the conferment of hero status on Transport Minister, the late Transport Minister Joe Biggie Matiza. He, in a series of tweets, this is what This is what Honorable Tema Muliswa said. I have no problem with the late J.B. Matiza, who was a hardworking minister. However, the conferring of hero status on him become a problem when one realizes epic war veterans like Dumiso Dawengo are not there. The inconsistencies are just shocking. Is this the start of a changing criteria, considering JB was never part of the struggle? He could have been made a provincial hero, yes, but having overlooked other meritorious war veterans only to confer some like JB is shocking. What is the criteria now? Is there even one? Liswa asked. So, realizing his mistake on the late Dumiso Dabengo was declared a national hero, but his family decided against burying him at the national shrine. Muliswa reiterated his point that there was still need for a consistent criteria and oversight. Yes, Dabengo was made a hero, but the point remains that the absence of a national criteria, solid and recognizable, is making heroes eka meaningless. The criteria cannot be wavering and politicized, template tinkered with at a whim. So yeah, Muliswa further said the Heroes Egg had lost its meaning, and that is the reason why the late former President Robert Mugabe had rejected to be buried there. No wonder Mugabe refused to be buried there. The place has lost meaning due to politicization. There are many war veterans, ZAPU people not buried there, but have enough credentials. Taifunga kuti ave ku-heroes taifunga kuti ave ku-heroes zvinezera. It appears that's not the case. Yangova ndonga ndonga. All right, so that is another issue. We saw the late Transport Minister Joe Biggie Matiza being declared a national hero. He succumbed to COVID-19 on Friday. May his soul continue to rest in eternal peace. So those are some of the stories making the headlines in our media. We also see Jim Kunaka, the former ZANU-PF youth leader, in court for his bail appeal. So he was appearing before Justice Chitapi. He was arrested on 24 December for allegedly inciting the public to protest against President Mnangagwa during the 31 July 2020 anti-corruption protests. He's also charged with breaching national lockdown regulations as he encouraged people to gather, thus contravening Section 4 of Statutory Instrument 110 of 2020. Kunaka was denied bail by Magistrate Judith Taruvinga and has been in custody since then. So we have a number of people who remain behind bars despite not having a conviction. We have Alan Moyo. He is a youth leader who is behind bars at the same time. So we have two health centers in Matabeleland North that temporarily shut down because some of its workers had tested positive to COVID-19. So these are some of the issues happening in our media environment. We take a look at, people can be very interesting. This is a picture that has been circulating on WhatsApp, and this image is right. So this is Sue. Sue is 31 years old, and she has been homeschooling her 4 kids for the last week. Now, I know some people are trying to be funny, but that picture image is showing that teachers are indeed an essential service. So the question is, those kids who are not able to do online learning, what are they doing and how are they going to benefit, especially in this lockdown? Homeschooling is not easy. So we really need to appreciate those teachers and those civil servants who are whom we've always taken for granted. So this is an appeal to government to consider looking at the plight and the needs of the workers, because homeschooling is definitely not a cup of coffee. Awesome. So, and there's this small video that I really felt was interesting. And this video, I'm posting it here so that we can take a look at this topic, as we want to also get to discuss it tomorrow. And this is the actions or reactions of politicians. So let's watch this one. All right, this is day 22 of the national lockdown level 4. Remember, Zimbabwe remains under lockdown since 30 March 2020, but we've had to go on a stricter level 4 national lockdown because of increasing numbers of COVID-19. And we continue to watch the space and watch what is happening on our media environment. Do join us tomorrow as we are talking about our political landscape. So it's going to be an interesting debate. You don't want to miss it. We have Mkoma Benji coming through. He is an independent analyst. And we also have Ostalos Siziba of the MDC Alliance. We're also expecting someone from the MDCT as we look at whether we need these players on our political field if Zimbabwe is to make progress. Thank you so much for joining me on Zimbabwe Daily as we round up the day looking at the stories that have been making the headlines in our country over the weekend. My name is Yvonne Mchaka. This is Zimbabwe Daily. We love you. We appreciate you. Let us keep on going and making sure that we keep our nation safe. Let us mask up. Let us sanitize. Let us maintain social distance. There's so many funerals that are happening. As long as it's not a very close relative, let us make use of the online platforms to send our message of condolence. There is no reason why we need to be physically at the funerals, because COVID-19 is spreading, and funerals are some of the super spreader events that we have. There is no reason why we should all congregate at the same time. Let us pass our condolence messages online. Let us try to live stream these burials so that other members of the family can partake, and let us keep ourselves safe. Zimbabwe, when I mask up, I protect myself, I protect you. When you mask up, you do the same. And when we keep ourselves in our homes, we stay safer. So Zimbabwe, let us fight COVID-19 together. And join me again tomorrow as we look at politics in Africa, more so politics in Zimbabwe. My name is Yvonne. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.